Does this single grain have the power to win us over?
Let's find out. This week we're talking about the 10-year-old single grain from the Powerscourt Distillery. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt and I'm the Whiskey Nerd.
I'm Rose and I'm the Whiskey Noob.
And like we said, we're looking at the 10-year-old single grain from Powerscourt Distillery. So let me get into the glass and I'll tell you a little bit more about it.
I love a good single grain personally, so I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, and it's not very often you do see like an age statement single grain whiskey, because sometimes distilleries will make a lot of grain whiskey to kind of, you know, bulk up maybe a bit of single malt.
Oh.
So sometimes they make not too great single grain whiskey that they then add single malt whiskey or pot still whiskey to.
Okay.
To kind of, you know, balance out the flavors. So sometimes distilleries will instead make a very good single grain. Okay. With like not so light, rich flavor, and then they'll age that and kind of release it on its own, and that's what we've got right here.
Okay, cool. Well, I really want a nice single grain, so.
Yeah, so the Powerscourt Distillery, they have recently put out their own line of whiskey. They've been sourcing whiskey up to now. They've got a single malt whiskey, which is all their own stuff, but this here is a sourced 10-year-old single grain whiskey, and it was aged for the first 10 years of its life in American white oak barrels before being finished. They don't say how long for in a fresh bourbon barrel. So it should.
Ooh, bourbon.
Yeah, so it should really like lean into the sweetness, that kind of buttery, rich kind of butterscotch vanilla note you do get in a bourbon, but then also with that rich sweetness you get in a grain whiskey.
Ooh, this makes me excited to give it a try.
Yeah, it also comes in at 40% ABV.
Easy drinking.
So it's gonna be very easy drinking, combined with all those nice kind of sweet single grain flavors. Should be a very, very tasty dram. So I think we're gonna go in for the nose.
Yeah, let's see what we got here.
Let's see what we got.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
Sláinte.
Sláinte.
Oh, it smells so sweet.
Yeah, it's immediately like very sweet, but like caramel, vanilla, butterscotch.
It feels, it smells buttery. It's like I can taste it almost just like through my nose.
Yeah, it's kind of like you think of like a cupcake, you know, that kind of like grainy, kind of the sponge of a cupcake, where you get that sweetness, the bit of butteriness, the vanilla, the bit of like caramelized sugar.
So for Powerscourt, if you're listening, next time you have a little event, you can make a cupcake, but put some of the whiskey in it.
Yes, or like have the like vanilla buttercream frosting.
Or a tasting of cupcakes and whiskey.
Or a tasting of cupcakes and whiskey.
I'm full of ideas.
Yeah. Like, there's not a huge amount of oak. Now they say it was aged for 10 years in American white oak.
What's white oak?
Well, it's like the white oak. It's the natural oak that it kind of grows in America.
Okay.
I'm getting maybe a little bit of like citrus, like a little bit of like a orange peel.
Okay.
Kind of the more I sit with it.
I feel like there might be, kind of building on this whole cupcake thing, a wee bit of almond in there, because you can get almond and like almond powder. And
I could see that kind of like
goods.
Yeah, like a kind of like a marzipan, that kind of sweet almond.
But like light sweetness
Yeah.
from an almond.
Yeah, I think okay, we can go in and taste on the palate now.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Still quite sweet up front. Bit more oak spice on the palate.
Definitely got the oak.
Definitely got that bit more oak. I mean, over 10 years in oak, you're gonna get that kind of oaky spiciness coming through.
Yeah, there's definitely oaky spices. Along with, I got the oaky spiciness first.
Yeah.
And then I got the sweetness.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, for 40%, it's not gonna have the biggest arrival. It's not gonna be spicy and hot and that kind of flavor, but it does spread out. You do get that kind of creaminess coming through.
Yeah.
Kind of like a buttery, kind of honeyed almost mouthfeel.
Yeah, I almost feel like for the oaky bit, it's almost like a bit peppery to me. If you get that.
I can see a little kind of peppery spice coming through. I'm also getting more of that citrus, and second sip around, definitely a lot more kind of buttery, creamy, kind of that buttercream frosting, kind of vanilla note.
Okay.
Yeah. And a bit of like those baking spices, like you were saying. Like,
yeah, I get baking spices for sure.
Kind of pepper, a little bit of cinnamon made.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Are you getting any almond?
Not really, are you? I got a lot more almond on the nose.
Not really any almond. I'm getting more of that kind of like candied citrus peel.
You're getting really good with the citrus.
I mean, maybe I just pick up a lot of citrus and things, but I'm getting a little bit of that kind of like an orange peel that's been candied. Like if you think of that kind of I don't know how to describe it. You see them on cakes and sometimes things like that.
Oh, yes,
Like
yes,
a
and
little
they're
bit-
usually like swirly.
They're a little swirly. I'll put a picture up there so you know what I'm talking about. But these little kind of caramelized, very sugary, covered in sugar.
Okay.
A little bit of orange peel. So it's not really
Yeah.
like the orange rind, but it's more
yeah.
that sugariness. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Okay, so let's go in. I think for the finish, you're already going in for the finish. We'll see what lasts the longest on the finish.
It's soft. It's sweet.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit like back here, like a baby hint of spice.
Yeah, like on the palate, right? You get that spice up front, then it kind of, the
Yeah.
sweetness spreads out, but then as the sweetness fades off, that spiciness does hang
Yeah.
on, it does linger on a bit.
Yeah, it's a nice like gentle ending.
Yeah, it's definitely soft. It's definitely, like you said, it was soft whiskey. It's easy. It's been at 40%.
It's a friendly ending.
Yeah, at 40%, you're not going to be getting hot,
Like a
spicy, a kick or anything like that. It's pretty much like consistent, I think, from the nose to the palate to the finish. Maybe a little bit more spiciness than you'd expect from the nose, but mostly sweet, mostly friendly.
I think it's a good journey.
Yeah, it's a solid. Like, this is actually, as grain whiskies go, I know they often don't get a lot of love, but I do like a good, well-made grain whiskey. And I think it's
Yeah.
a good, well-made grain whiskey.
Agreed. I think though, with the little bit of spiciness in there, it does add a smidge of complexity to it, which I think you have to kind of give it a kudos for.
Yeah, I mean, like, Fercullen is the name of the brand from the Powerscourt Distillery. Their single malt is quite nice. We have tried it. We'll get to that another time. They are making some good stuff, and I think they have been putting out some nice releases for their sourced whiskey. So I hope when they come out with their own whiskies then down the line, they'll kind of keep that idea up with getting good finishes and good flavors in their whiskey.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's everything there is to say about this. Like we said, solid, easy drinking, friendly, tasty oil whiskey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to see more reviews, we put out whiskey reviews on Wednesdays. We put out cocktail recipes featuring whiskey on Fridays. So if you want to see those, make sure you scroll down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. But for now, I think we're going to keep on enjoying this. And we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
Slàinte.